What if I told you that the person everyone called hopeless just outsmarted an entire kingdom? Stick around because this story will flip everything you think you know about laziness on its head. Meet Jake. 22 years old, living in his childhood bedroom, and according to his mom, allergic to effort. While his friends were grinding at their corporate jobs, Jake was perfecting the art of doing absolutely nothing. His daily routine? Wake up at noon, order DoorDash, and binge Netflix until 3 a.m. But here's where it gets interesting. Jake's dad owned a small tech repair shop downtown. Every day, customers would drop off broken phones, laptops, and tablets. Jake's only job was to organize the devices and keep track of which ones belonged to whom. Simple, right? Well, Jake being Jake, he found this incredibly boring. So instead of walking back and forth all day, he created a color-coded system with rolling carts that he could operate from his chair. Red cart for phones, blue for laptops, green for tablets. One pull of a rope system he rigged up, and everything sorted itself. His dad wasn't thrilled about the creative laziness. But hey, the job got done. Then disaster struck. Jake's dad had a heart attack. Suddenly, Jake was staring at a shop full of broken electronics, angry customers, and bills piling up like a Netflix queue. For the first time in his life, Jake felt the weight of real responsibility crushing down on him. 3 weeks in, and Jake was drowning. Customers were demanding refunds, suppliers were calling nonstop, and his family's entire livelihood was circling the drain. That night, sitting in the empty shop, Jake had what he later called his quarter-life crisis moment. "I've wasted so much time being a professional couch warmer," he thought. "Now when it actually matters, I'm completely useless." The next morning, scrolling through social media instead of working, old habits die hard, Jake saw an ad that made him stop mid-scroll. "Tech Startup Challenge $50,000 prize, can you solve the impossible?" Jake's heart started racing. This could save everything. But then reality hit him like a cold shower. The competition was in Silicon Valley. The competitors would be MIT graduates, coding prodigies, and actual geniuses. What was a professional procrastinator going to do against that? But desperation makes people do crazy things. Jake signed up. The challenge? Create an app that could solve a real-world problem in just 48 hours. Jake arrived at the competition venue, a sleek tech campus that looked like something out of a sci-fi movie. Around him were contestants with multiple degrees, startup experience, and laptops that probably cost more than Jake's car. Jake's confidence was at negative infinity. The clock started ticking. While everyone else immediately dove into complex coding, Jake did what he always did: he procrastinated. But this time, instead of scrolling TikTok, he walked around observing the other contestants. That's when he noticed something weird. Everyone was building incredibly sophisticated apps, but they all seemed to be solving problems that didn't really exist. Blockchain-powered pet food dispensers, AI-driven sock sorters, you name it. Then Jake remembered something. Back at his dad's shop, the biggest complaint wasn't about complex repairs, it was about communication. Customers never knew when their devices would be ready, technicians couldn't easily update repair statuses, and everyone was constantly playing phone tag. While others spent 30 hours coding the next Facebook, Jake spent 30 minutes understanding the actual problem and 5 hours building something stupidly simple, a basic app that let repair shops send automated updates to customers. No fancy algorithms. No revolutionary technology. Just a solution to a real, everyday frustration. When presentation time came, contestant after contestant showcased their complex creations. The judges looked impressed but confused. "Interesting," they'd say. "But who would actually use this?" Then came Jake's turn. His hands were shaking, his voice cracked, but he showed his simple little app. "It's not revolutionary," he said, "but it solves a problem that millions of small businesses face every day." The judges leaned forward. One of them pulled out his phone. "Can you show us how it works with a real example?" Jake demonstrated using his dad's shop as a case study. Within minutes, the judges were nodding, taking notes, and asking detailed questions about implementation. The results were announced an hour later. Third place went to an AI-powered meditation app. Second place to a virtual reality fitness platform. And first place? The simple repair shop communication app built by the guy who everyone thought was just wasting space. Jake didn't just win $50,000. He discovered something that changed his entire perspective on life. His so-called laziness was actually efficiency in disguise. His tendency to avoid complex solutions led him to find simple ones that actually worked. Today, Jake's app is used by over 10,000 small businesses nationwide. His dad's shop is thriving, and Jake? Well, he's still not a morning person, but he's channeled his productive laziness into building solutions that actually matter. The truth is, sometimes what the world calls laziness is just your brain conserving energy for what really counts. The key isn't working harder, it's working smarter when it matters most. So next time someone calls you lazy, remember Jake's story? Maybe you're not avoiding work, maybe you're just waiting for the right problem to solve. If this story hit different and you want more real talk about turning your flaws into superpowers, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, the next story is going to blow your mind even more.